Hello, it's Bill, and I got something kind of unique, something that most people might be afraid to make, and I want to show you how really simple it is. And it might some people might be kind of turned off about the idea, but this is a cream of asparagus soup. So I've been using a lot of asparagus because it's been fresh locally, and the thing about it is that I look for the bunch that's got the really kind of small, skinny stuff, and we're going to get into that in a minute. So I got some butter here. I picked this pot because it's curved on the bottom, and I'm going to end up using my immersion blender, boat motor we used to call it in the restaurant. If you don't have one, you probably use your blender, that's fine. Be careful if your blender has a plastic container. You might have to let it cool a little bit, or if it's glass and it's not tempered, you might have to let it cool a little bit so it doesn't break. So this is really simple. So what I'm going to start with is I've got 4 tablespoons of butter I'm melting, because first thing we're going to do is we're going to kind of saute all this stuff up. Then we're going to cook it, get it softened up, and then like I said, we're going to go in and hit it with an immersion blender. So it's just about finished. So let's talk about this. So I bought a bunch of asparagus that tends to be about a pound. Always cut off, you have to cut something off every piece, at least, you know, half an inch, but make sure you cut all the white stuff off. And when you get these young tender ones, they don't tend to have as much white. I don't like it as much when you use the big stocky ones, because I still feel like no matter how much you mix it up with a blender, it's still kind of stringy in there. It's kind of like celery is. The other thing is I wanted some green onions, scallions, whatever. And they were kind of not so great. The bunches are really small right now, so I ended up getting 2 bunches. Ultimate one about half a cup, and I cut it up. You know, you can make sure you cut the fuzzy end off and then cut up to the green as high as you can. Alright, this is really nice and hot. So like I said, I've got my green onions, I got my asparagus, I can hear it sizzling away. This was just something fun to do. I like doing fun things once in a while, or all the time, but this is just a good example. So I'm going to keep the heat up on this. I'm going to kind of stir it around, and ultimately we're going to cook everything, put a lid on here pretty quick, and get it all kind of mushy. I just want to kind of get this starting to heat through. So we're going to give this a minute. I want to bring the temperature back up, okay? So what we have also is I have some garlic, 2 to 3 cloves. It's funny, I was making my Italian dressing and I was kind of in a rush, so I kind of just crushed the garlic cloves and threw them in, and my immersion blender had a really tough time, so I put some big chunks in the bottom of I put them in, you know, squirt bottles. Alright, so let's get some garlic in there. So the flavoring of it's really simple. Well, as I'm talking about flavor, we're going to put a few grains of pepper in here. It's about time to refill my pepper mill. I want to get this hot again because big reveal, the big surprise. Just stir this up again. Oh yeah. Now I can smell the garlic. So what makes it creamy? Well, the consistency of the asparagus after you mix it all up is going to be pretty good, but what we add to it is, this handle's gonna happen quick. I do have little rubber covers for it, but I always forget. I got a potato here. So this is actually a locally grown Yukon Gold. You can use any kind of potato you want. Just put it up in chunks that I know I can get blended up. So I didn't really want it real starchy, so I put it in some ice water. The ice has since melted. Alright. Let's get it started. Everything's going to start to mix around, cook. And so the telltale is going to be the greens are going to start getting mushy, and so is the potato. That's going to be how we know. It's kind of an unusual way to make cream soup, but it really works. It's really fun. I need a little bit of lemon juice. We need to kind of extract some of that flavor and give it some kind of acid. And I only want about a teaspoon. So what I need to do, make sure I got everything in it. I'm going to cover it. And everything's going to soften up a little bit. So, just to get back, I've got the bunch of asparagus I cut up about 1-inch pieces. I've got the ½ cup of scallions. I've got a couple of cloves of garlic that I minced up. I got that medium-sized potato that I chunked up. And it's all gonna, cook through, so I wasn't really concerned about how, what size to cut the potato in, because that'll steam up and cook really pretty quickly. I got that little bit of lemon juice, and I got my couple of grains of pepper in there. I've got it covered, and so this is really going to take probably about 10 minutes. So I'm going to start setting up the rest of it, and we'll see you back in about 10 minutes. Hey, we're back. It's been 10 minutes. The whole house smells wonderful. Oh, now it's been 10 minutes. All right, so let's see what it looks like. I like to play it safe. I'm going to turn down the heat a little bit so I can get this lid off. And don't look in the pot when you lift the lid off. You should always lift the lid facing away from you. Believe it or not, I've seen people get some pretty serious burns. And I always use a mitt, a towel, anything. Not a wet towel, because you don't want to create more steam. Alright, so everything looks really good. There we go. Everything's blanched out. So, how do we make soup? We gotta have liquid, right? So I got a cup, actually there's a little more than a cup in here, of chicken stock. This is basically the last step to getting this all cooked up. Okay. So what I need to do, I'm going to set this down over here. I need to get this roaring again. Get my lid. Need about 5 minutes. I hear boiling already, so I'm going to call it 5 minutes. So what this is going to do is this is really going to make sure we kind of use the liquid and the butter in there to get everything toasty and mushy. But now I want to get some liquid in there, and I really want to get it back to a boil. It's boiling. So about 5 minutes of it's not an aggressive boil. Simmer, I guess, is a better word. I don't get all this terminology all the time. But yeah, we just want to get it nice and simmered for about 5 minutes to incorporate everything. We got everything in there. And so you might be surprised that it took that potato to make the creaminess of the asparagus, because you know, people wouldn't expect that unless you make cream of asparagus soup. Or maybe you make it wrong and you never do that. But I hate buying things that I don't use very often. So I inherited a immersion blender. I destroyed it, so I actually went on Amazon, started looking, and I found this. It's great. The base is removable. It came with all sorts of accessories that I'll never use. This was basically $20. It's probably more expensive now, closer to $30. It was like $25 when I got it a couple of years ago. Like I said, it's really nice because it does come apart. This is the only thing you want to wash. There are you know, bearings in here at the ends, so I don't really like submerging this in liquid and holding it there. You know, I tend to kind of whisk it around in one of my measuring cups with clean water, make sure it's wiped out. If I've done anything stringy like spinach, you know, I sometimes have to clean it up a little bit. But this is kind of cool because it's got like 1 through 12 settings on it. It's got your on-off and also your turbo. So if you're just going along, you want to blast up to full speed, you just hit the lower button. I know they make cordless ones. I just don't know if they have enough strength. I'd hate to have my battery run out. The other thing is you have to make sure it's charged right before you're going to use it, and you know, keep charging all this stuff, especially because it costs more money. You just destroy it. But some good practices, I'm going to pull it off the heat. I don't want to have a cord over an open flame or the heat. That could be kind of detrimental. Probably wouldn't hurt me, probably just hurt my immersion blender. Alright, I need to take a look here. It's cooking. We're cooking with gas now, literally. It's kind of funny because when I lived in Denver, I worked in a restaurant. The things I did was I made soups with these big, huge, I call them 55-gallon drums, but I think they're 40-gallon steam kettles, and you literally have these special spatulas and everything, and they have a little hand crank on the side so you can pour them out in 5-gallon buckets. It was kind of fun to do that. Except for cleaning up afterwards. But that also has a whisk attachment. So I guess if you were going to make like whipped cream or something, I haven't used that. I did save it because I figured I might use it sometime. Alright, I got about 30 seconds left on this. So we're going to make sure it's going pretty good in there right now. And this is really just about to make sure you get that potato cooked all the way. Soup's fun. When I was a kid, my mom used to heat up Campbell's soup, put it in a little thermos container for lunch for me on those cool days. Ate a lot of really lousy soup, but working in a restaurant, I learned a lot more about soup, and I do enjoy making it. Hoping soon I'm going to show you my really super duper secret recipe for split pea soup. Love making split pea soup. That takes a while though, that's a process. It's like making baked beans the long way. Used to do it all the time, don't do it anymore. Alright, so I'm going to turn on the heat. Time's up. My skin, I don't want to burn myself. Scald. Alright, so let's see if I did a good job right now. You know what, I think I'm going to borrow this. Should have put my little handle on here. Alright, so let me just get this out of the way. let's see how it works. I'm going to start kind of low just to see how it responds. I'm not splashing everybody, including myself, especially with really hot liquid. So just find a small area. That's where you want to start. Don't pick it up while it's turned on. Everything's mixing up very nicely. Once we start getting this and it gets kind of into a slurry, it'll be a whole lot easier to finish off. And I do have to make sure I say that you could use veggie stock. I just don't keep it on hand. This is where I got everything to a pretty good consistency, so I get to go around, just make sure we get it all smoothed out. If you have the right amount of liquid in here, it's going to kind of auto bring the chunks into the blade. That's why you want to make sure that the skirt on your immersion blender has cutouts. See, it's got cutouts on my skirt. So I've got it to a really good consistency here. The last minute I've been on turbo, so I really got it to a better consistency. Still, you want to be really careful because I want to make sure I do get all the potatoes and asparagus. It would totally be ruined if you didn't get along. I'm obviously, if you're watching this, I cut some of this down time-wise, because it really is going to take you about 5 minutes to get this done. So let me just finish up real quick. We'll get back to what to finish this off. Okay, I think this is great. Safety first. We're going to unplug it. I need to pull the beater part off. Just gonna see if I can't get more than, yeah, that's good. Just want to set this in the sink. I just don't want it to drip all the way there. Let me tell you, that's really, really fantastic. I'm just gonna get on some low heat. Just gonna finish this off here. It's still really warm. Using a really heavy pan is really, really worth it. It's gonna hold that heat. So I really was careful, and patience is everything. I think I've got, and like I said, I purposefully used the round bottom so I could get my immersion blender in all the way around. So, last but not least, I need to add some half and half. You can use heavy cream, just can't use milk. So, I've got 2 cups here. I'm going to stir it in until I've got the right consistency. And I think it's going to be about 1.5 cups. Slow as we go. So if you're using the blender or immersion blender or anything you use, just make sure that you really take the time, do it right, and get that consistency really smooth. So, you know, it starts off like the consistency of baby food. We just really need to kind of thin it out so it's edible. That's why we don't want to lose our heat, because we're going to serve this right up. So we just want to slowly add. That's going to be it. Yeah, there's a half cup left. I think I called that just about right. Set this over here. Kind of dance around and look. This is kind of personal choice. Like I said, if it seems too thick, and see it's kind of thickening up now that I'm stirring it, you can go the whole 2 cups. If you want it kind of thicker, you can certainly stick at the 1.5 cup mark. And if you don't believe me, you got a half cup left. Unfortunately, it smells really good that you can't tell. But it has a kind of a good, and when I ladle it up, you'll be able to better see it. Good consistency. I did find one asparagus that didn't get chewed up, so I failed. I was trying to get it done because my arms are falling off, and I wanted to get this video done so I could try it. That's it. So the true test is I'm going to grab a spoon. So you see it's covering the spoon nicely. Shouldn't be too hot because I put a bunch of it. That's the consistency. That's what I was shooting for. That's really good. So I'm going to call it a day. I'll let you see what this looks like. Oh yeah, that's just beautiful. This is something that's really fun to, you could serve it with anything. Yeah, if you want to do a fancy 3-course meal for a special occasion, this is a great soup. I wouldn't go crazy and dish up a whole lot. It's one of those nice little appetizer kind of, you know, first course, the soup that you can really enjoy. It's got a lot of great flavor. So let's get it dished up so you can see what it looks like. So we really do cook here. I can mess everywhere. Get that hot handle out of the way so I don't burn myself. Trip on the carpet. I'm just going to take a couple ladlefuls. This is a pretty small ladle. So this is the kind of thing, if you want to be fancy, what you're going to do is you're going to take a couple of the spearheads of the asparagus, and you're going to cook it in the frying pan, just saute a little bit to soften it up. And you're going to put a nice little design in there. I don't really think it's necessary because to me, I don't want that mouthfeel of the asparagus. But you know, if you want to do something cool, that's what you would do. Anyway, I really hope that you try this soup. Hope you try lots of soups. I hope you give me some ideas because I do get them. Unfortunately, most people message me through other social medias instead of YouTube, so you don't see them. But this is a basic thing. The hardest thing is getting it mixed up. So for your birthday or Christmas, ask for a cheap immersion blender. And I don't mean cheap, you don't want a cheap one, but a decent one. I no longer have an Amazon account because I didn't sell enough, but I think I can still give you the code to purchase it. If you comment, I can post it for you. This is really fun. Don't forget, if you haven't already, if you're new to this or you've just been lazy, please subscribe, ring the bell so you get the notifications. Try great things. This soup is really excellent. Hope you enjoy it. Hope you enjoy lots of the things I do, and give me suggestions. Come on, man, I'm running out of ideas. I've been doing this for a couple years now. I might need some help, so go ahead and throw something new at me. And have some fun and have a great day.